A.J. Brown trade is just the beginning, tip of the iceberg, as Howie Roseman is getting ready to go off. Get ready for a master class. Dallas still stinks. Yo, but the way it kicked dig back here, so let's think about this for a second. Do we really think that the Eagles, and Howie Roseman specifically, is just going to trade A.J. Brown and not do anything to get this team better? Howie is always looking to improve this team, and trading A.J. Brown on the surface does not improve it. So, what does that mean? It means this. There was something in the report yesterday about A.J. Brown being traded that we really didn't talk a lot about, but it's very, very telling, because what it's telling us is that this A.J. Brown stuff is the tip of the iceberg. It may be the start of Howie Roseman giving a masterclass to the NFL, okay? The Eagles are far from done with this roster. We are about to see this draft this weekend. We are about to see trades. We are about to see, I believe, some maneuvers from Howie Roseman that only Howie Roseman can do, okay? And I was worried yesterday after that, leading up to the A.J. Brown likely to be traded with the Reuben Frank stuff, talking about the Eagles are not going to get a first-round pick and it might not happen. Well, the truth of the matter is, no. They're going to get a first-round pick. Oh, yeah. They're going to get a first-round pick. They're just not concerned with a 2026 first-round pick. And this is exactly what I've been talking about. The Eagles are on it. Howie is on it. They're not worried about 2026. They know the draft in 2027 is much better. And you want to load up with high-end picks in that draft. And in the article, in that Adam Schefter report, there's some stuff buried here that I want to talk about. It said, the Eagles are also not concerned about adding draft capital for this week's draft. When we're talking about the Eagles making a trade with the Patriots. It says, acquiring additional picks in 2027 and 2028 is even more enticing for them, per sources. Picks in future years were the compensation that was discussed when the Eagles and the Rams had extensive trade conversations regarding Brown, which did not materialize into a deal. Since then, the Eagles have signed Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, and traded for Dontayvion Wicks. And to me, the only guy that's guaranteed to make this roster is Dontayvion Wicks, okay? Let's be clear about something right here. None of those guys are going to replace A.J. Brown. It's not going to do it. The guy that's going to replace A.J. Brown is not on this roster yet. Now, he may be in the draft this year. We'll see, To me, if you don't take a receiver in the first 2 rounds, then I don't think they look at the guys they're drafting to be that guy. I still think that if I could pick any receiver, even though he's got injury concerns, I would take a risk on Jordan Tyson. I just think he's too talented. But now we're hearing he may go top 10. So I don't know what to think about that. See, you have guys like Jordan Tyson who a week and a half ago were not even first-round picks. Then they were late first-round picks. And now they're talking about top 10 between 5 and 10. That just shows you that there's not a lot of top-end talent in this draft. The real value is in the mid-round picks, where the Eagles have 2/3, 2/4, right? They got a load of mid-round picks. So to me, if you lose chance to get Vega, chance to get Kenyon Sadiq, something crazy doesn't happen, like a Caleb Downs for some reason drops, which I never see him getting past the Giants, but you have to really look at this draft and say the value's in the mid-rounds, and you know what we need to do? We need to go back and we need to get more mid-round picks and get more top-end picks next year. And getting a 2027 first for A.J. Brown would be huge. All right, and make no mistake about it. To me, yesterday kicked off Project 4. Project Jeremiah Smith. All right? I am going to prepare myself. If I don't get Jordan Tyson, in this draft, I'm preparing myself for trying to be in a position to get Jeremiah Smith. Now, I'm not saying it's easy or it can be done. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I'm positioning myself right now, starting right now, over the course of the next year, I am positioning myself to be a team that can be a player and acquire them. Maybe you get lucky with some of the records of teams you have draft picks for. Maybe it just works out some way where a team's willing to trade. I don't know. But at least be in a conversation. If you have 2 first-round picks in 2027, that's not a bad thing. And I would say this. If Vega and Sadiq are off the board, I'm trading out of the first round. I'm getting more mid-round picks, and I'm getting an extra 2027 first next year. And if I get one from the Patriots, that gives me 3 first-round picks in a really, really top-heavy draft. This, I believe, is how Howie is thinking. Not maybe necessarily about Jeremiah Smith in general, but in getting picks to have talent, get multiple talented players in that draft while taking advantage of the strength of this draft with the mid-round picks. Okay? And speaking of picks, look at this. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app. The best place to win cash while watching sports. The app is really easy to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock up your lineup. Prize Picks is also available in most states, including California, Texas, Florida. So if you're new, download the app, use code HMA, and play your first $5 entry, and you'll instantly get $50 in lineups. Now, here, let me show you what I got planned for today. All right, guys, I'm filming more NFL season plays. Look at this. Ashton Genty, over 974.5 yards. And then look, another steal. We got to take advantage of these. Bijan Robinson, over 1,124.5 yards. Let's lock those 2 in. And this is a great easy play. So those are my picks for today. And I'm confident in this lineup. But remember, hey, nothing is guaranteed, especially in sports. And also, don't forget, download the app using code HMA. Play your first $5 entry, and you'll instantly get $50 in lineups. The link is in the description. Check it out. And also, you can follow me at Prize Picks app at YoPhilly500 to see my lineups and follow along with my picks live. Play responsibly. Let's have some fun. And a big thanks to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget, use promo code HMA. Play $5 to get $50 in the lineup instantly. The link is in the description. Shout out to Prize Picks. And shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. And let me say this, it's all about making this team better at the end of the day. And, I didn't want A.J.Brown to leave, in the beginning. I didn't. But I've accepted it, and all I'm asking is for some sort of fair, rightful draft compensation. And then let him go. And I'll root every game against the Patriots. Every game I'll be rooting against them. All right? But there are more things to be done this weekend. Could the Eagles pull something like a Max Crosby out of left field? Could they do something? I think this is what Howie's planning. Not necessarily Max Crosby, but I think Howie Roseman is planning to make some moves. And in that article, or that report by Adam Schefter, he said the Eagles aren't done yet, right? Here's a little bit of what he said. The Eagles could make trades beyond any Brown-related move. League sources say that General Manager Howie Roseman is plotting, you don't want him to plot, to make a deal on draft weekend. Roseman usually has a trick or two up his sleeve, and the other front office executives suspect there's one coming this week. Boy, these executives, these teams, these other front office teams, they are so scared of Howie Roseman. They are scared of him. One possibility is adding Vikings linebacker Jonathan Greenard. whom the Eagles have checked in on at various points this season, per sources. Greenard had 12 sacks in 24, but managed only 3 last season over 12 games, despite a solid 23.3 pass rush win rate. I think he had a bad shoulder or something. So the Vikings have been adamant about getting premium day 2 pick for Greenard. Philly holds the 54th, 68th, and 98th pick on day 2 this year. League sources say the Eagles and Vikings could revisit discussions they have already had during the upcoming draft, but talks have also lost steam in recent weeks. The Eagles' wish list of trade candidates goes well beyond Greenard, per sources, though Roseman almost always has a plan A, B, and C, and D, and is a team to monitor. Oh man, you better watch out. Howie's going off. There's no doubt. He has been too quiet leading up to everything. Then all this A.J. Brown stuff. This is where I think we're going to see Howie Roseman make some masterclass moves. Now, as far as Jonathan Greenard goes, I like the idea of Greenard when you're talking about, him getting paid an extension around $20 to $22 million. Now they're talking he wants $30 million. I don't know if I do that. I feel like if you're gonna pay a guy that kind of money, then get one of the best guys if you can. I would much rather take my 2026 first round pick and let's say like a third round pick next year or something, and I would rather trade it for Max Crosby. I'd rather have Crosby than Greenard. But, we got to see what Howie's planning. As I've said, in previous videos, there are 3 moves, we'll say 4 moves that I have in mind. 1, try to find a way to trade up and get Vega. 2, try to trade up, maybe not as far, if you could go out and get Kenyon Sadiq. 3, trade out of the first round. Make sure you get at least a mid-round pick in 2026, and then make sure, and this is a must, make sure to get a first-round pick for next year, okay? Those would be my 3 moves. My 4th move that I would like to see if those other 3 don't work out is trade for Max Crosby. Trade one of that first-round picks for a Max Crosby type guy. Now, the report also talked about the Eagles could be getting a 2028 first-round pick for, A.J. Brown. I don't mind this as much. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's way better than not getting a first-round pick at all. If you get a 2028 first-round pick, that gives you ammunition. That gives you the ability to still do what I want to do in 2027, somehow trade up to get Jeremiah Smith, okay? That's how I would play it. And that's okay, too. So we've got options. It looks like Howie's about to go off. And yesterday I was a little pissed off. The Reuben Frank thing pisses me off. I hate feeling like I hate feeling like I'm getting gypped off or my team is getting ripped off. I do. And it always sets me off. So it looks like that's not the case. It looks like we will get a first-round pick. And that is something that I can live with. Sorry we didn't do a live stream today. My wife is actually having surgery. So as this video is coming out, I will be with her all day. So, we should be home later today. And then maybe Wednesday we will have one, a live stream. And then, Thursday, Friday, the draft's coming. It's going to be crazy. Going to be crazy. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it. We've discussed a lot about the whole A.J. Brown thing, but let me make this clear. I believe in this league you need 2 wide receivers. You need 2 good wide receivers the way things go. Devontae Smith, to me, he's one of the best receivers in football. I think Devontae Smith is going to have a monster year, huge monster year. And as I said, when they first drafted him, he can start measuring for his gold jacket. He's got that kind of ability, that kind of talent. And given the opportunity where he's going to get more targets this year, Devontae Smith's going to go off. No doubt about it. However, You just, in this league, I believe, you need 2 really good wide receivers if possible. And I think that the play is for the Eagles to go with what they have this year, and then next year, go out and get the young stud, Jeremiah Smith, and pin him up with Devontae. It'll be Smith & Smith Law Firm coming for that ass. Denzel Washington, out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.